Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to Homeopathic Musing. Today, we are going to be today in our ABC of Remedies. Dr. Preety ma'am will be talking about the remedy Sepia with an interesting case example. So, the ABC of Remedies is a series that we've started this year, where we'll be talking every month about one specific remedy and with case illustration for all of you all. This will be a free session every month to talk about any remedy, any specific remedy. And we've already covered many remedies in this series, like the remedy lac felinum, vespo, and today we'll be talking about this remedy Sepia too. Also, I would like to mention that we started the animal series this year. This is a one-year course where we'll be covering the 8 different groups of the animal kingdom. We've already covered the insect group, the spider group. We've talked about the sea creatures. And in our next session, we'll be talking about the crustaceans. And it will be tomorrow on the 18th of May. We'll be starting sharp at 7 p.m. Likewise, we'll be covering other groups in the consecutive session, in the consecutive month. The next will be molluscs. We'll be covering that in June. And likewise, different groups will be covered in these series. If you want to register, you can do so. In case you missed the previous session, the recordings will always be provided. So for tomorrow's session, that is going to be on crustaceans. We'll be talking about the remedy, the rare remedies of crustacean group with case example. So do join us. In case you want to register, you can do so. So I will quickly hand over to ma'am and I'll stop sharing.
All right. So hi and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. So today I'm going to be talking about sepia. And I'm going to start with a case directly actually. But just to kind of set the stage because it's ABC of remedies, right? So we want to cover the A's, the B's, and the C's, isn't it? So just very quickly, what I can tell you is sepia, the common name is cuttlefish. While it is cuttlefish, it's not really a fish. It's a mollusk. It belongs to the animal kingdom, the subgroup of invertebrates and mollusks. Within mollusk, it belongs to the cephalopods. Along with sepia, in the cephalopods, we have remedies like octopus, we have nautilus. These are the remedies that come here. Cephalopods are the first ones to, start letting go of the protective shell. In the column 1, when life began, in the sea creatures, we see that they are so vulnerable. They don't have any protection, they don't even have a defined body mass, they don't have a skeleton, there is no. So really, they are the most vulnerable. And mollusks were the first ones to decide that, okay, look, I need to protect myself. And what I'm going to do is, because my body is so vulnerable, so soft, and my defensive mechanisms are so soft, so low, I will create a thick shell around me. That was the strategy that mollusks, developed. And within the mollusk, by the time they reached the cephalopod, evolutionary, when they progressed further, they realized, what? The shell is great. It protects me. It's a thick cover between me and the dangers outside. However, it also restricts me. While inside is safe, inside also gets boring. Inside there is no life. Inside there is no interactions. When I have the shell, when I have the wall, I not only just I'm not just avoiding all the dangers, I'm also avoiding all the interactions with the world, all the pleasures, all relationships and things like that. So they decided that I'm going to let go of the shell, and I am going to use other mechanisms. Okay. So what mechanism cephalopods develop? Very interestingly, they developed the key mechanism was disguise. They're called the master of disguise. They are like the chameleons of the ocean. They can change color, they can change shape, they can become like rock, they can, let go of our arm. I mean, it's phenomenal how they can do this. They can also have these iridescence, they can have these flickering bright colors to, attract attention, for mating, for example, or they can completely become like a rock or a, uh, uh, you know, uh, completely cover themselves, in the sand also, at the bottom of the ocean, and completely disguise themselves so that, they can protect themselves. So this is very interesting. Also very, very interesting, especially in cuttlefish, in sepia, is that they have this one bone, cuttle bone, which has the capacity to change its bone density. That means it can become heavy and it can become light. So if they want to go down, I mean, this gives them the idea of buoyancy. So if they want to go down to the ocean floor, the bone will become heavy, and if they want to float and move around, the bone will become light. The ratio of the gas and the bone changes, which is so phenomenal. And this also kind of potentially explains the phenomena of this, heavy dragging, boring down, that we see in sepia. We've seen that in the keynotes of sepia, right? Dragging down pains, heaviness, etc. So there is this element also. Another defensive survival strategy, when you are in the animal kingdom, you're talking about strategy. You're talking about how are you going to survive? We're talking about survival of the fittest. So how are you going to distinguish between animal remedies is how is their survival strategy? What is their survival mechanism? So another survival strategy, another key development of the mollusks within the cephalopods is that they can now move freely. They move with great speed. Hmm? So, for example, oyster, it's so attached to the rock, to the surface. It never moves. It never moves except that the shell opens and closes. Gastropods move very, very little. And, with the slightest danger, they will stop. One of the first, mollusk to move, for example, pectin has little bit of motion, scallop. But cephalopods, my God, you should see how fast and quickly they are able to move. So that is another survival strategy, a mechanism that they develop so as to kind of survive, either to kind of predate their predators or to protect themselves from bigger predators. So either which ways this works for them. So all this understanding the source, reading about the source, it really helps us to kind of understand the energy of the remedy and to see if this similar energy is also present in our patients. Molluscs belong to the column 2 of the animal chart. When I say column 2, what is the main idea of column 2? It's very close to column 1. Column 1 is complete withdrawal, completely in the womb. But in column 2, this is the first time you decide, okay, I'm out of the womb, but I can also withdraw from the womb. So there is in and out. But so there is, you will see that, okay, I want to go out and explore, etc. But there will also in danger be this inner idea of withdrawal to go in. So this is also another idea that you see here. In the column 2, sepia belongs, or the cephalopods in general belong. It has more energy of adolescence and fire. For example, the bivalves are more womb stage. Okay, the gastropods are more, they have more earth element, more schoolage, they want to go out and do and things like that. But cephalopods have more fire, they are more angry, they are more kind of go-getters, for example. Within the cephalopods, sepia has the most adolescence energy. So you will see a lot of air element here. We know this a little bit about sepia, right? They are creative, they are workaholics, they want to be independent, they don't like restriction, they are rebellious, they will break the norm, they will break the rules. They are the women who will, who will not tolerate the orthodox society, and things like that. So there is this, adolescent feature where, I want to break free, I want to go out and I want to explore, I want to have my own unique individuality. So so you can understand this from the source, you can understand Sepia from the keynotes, you understand this from this whole idea of column 2 and, inner age, etc. Another way of understanding Sepia is the idea of superclass, which is the latest development. So Dr. Sankaran has put cephalopods in superclass 5, because the main idea is to, go out, and inside is restrictive, inside is very, very suffocating, and I want to go out. Sepia is a kind of a remedy, or, patients needing Sepia, they're always busy, they're restless, they want to do activity. So they are the doers, they are restless, just like Rustox for that matter. And at the same time, they are, they feel suffocated and, they want to break free, they want to go out. They are also, like the row 5 of the mineral chart, they are creative, they are the thinkers, they are the artists, they are the ones who are going to break the mold. They're the ones who will strategize, they will not be the ones who will, want to just be in their comfort zone. No, 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 they want to go out, they want to explore, they want to take the risk, they are the risk takers. So from that perspective, you can understand, okay, it also has these superclass 5 related features. Okay. Now, the idea of me bringing this particular case today is to showcase to you that Sepia is a master of disguise. Cephalopods are master of disguise. That means they will have different shades. And unfortunately, we are like biased about Sepia. We know this one drug picture of Sepia that we have studied in school, that we don't, oftentimes don't let go. We think of Sepia and we generally think of women. When we think of Sepia, we think of a worn, exhausted, the failed state of Sepia. That's the picture that we have in mind. But Sepia has different shades. There is a Sepia who's independent and a Sepia who can be very, very dependent. A Sepia who will be the most confident person, and a Sepia that can be very, very timid and bashful and shy. Okay, so it has the full spectrum. So the idea is to tell you that don't restrict yourself, don't be like this during, case taking and prescription. Look at the whole picture, look at the whole case and identify who this person is. Realize that what the patient has, the remedy must have, not the vice versa. I will repeat. So if your patient has XYZ symptoms or state, that state needs to be matched with the remedy. But you cannot say that, oh, you know what? I know that Sepia needs to be worn out and exhausted, but this person is not worn out and exhausted. I want a Sepia to be, an ambitious Sepia, somebody who goes out, who's not a housewife, who's kind of working and, is, working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then coming home and taking care of children and taking care of in-laws. That's the Sepia I have. So I don't see all that in this patient, so I will not give Sepia. So this is absolutely wrong. What the patient has, your remedy must have. And also study this remedy from the source, the habitat in which it is, how it survives, what is its mechanism of action. Read the keynotes, read the materia medica, and mostly materia medica, maybe you all already know, but do reverse repertorization of Sepia, and that will be very, very interesting. And you will realize that, oh my God, even this Sepia has. And then obviously the PEM method, the sensation method, the superclass method, these are all added, cherry on the cake. Okay. So with that prelude, let's dive straight into the case. I will share my screen now. And you can let me know once you're able to see my screen. Okay. So So this is, a woman who came to us with several skin eruptions, allergies. In the beginning, it was about urticarial rash, but then she had several other issues that we'll talk about. Okay, so she's 76 years old, and she used to get these allergic rashes on and off for many years. It looks like these are small mosquito bite rashes, um, and somehow it was aggravated, maybe whenever she used to have alcohol that time. She's taken several medicines for it, and it has not really helped. It keeps coming back on and off. So, it kind of bothered her. And she has, applied several ointments and whatever. So the first 5-6 minutes, she's just describing how it started, where the rashes are, how long it takes, and what all she has tried for it, and how difficult it has been for her to manage it. Um, no PQRS, I mean, nothing peculiar. So if the physical symptoms, if the presenting complaint has something really peculiar, something very, very marked, you have to take it. Otherwise, if they are common symptoms, oftentimes they are not going to add value to the remedy that you're going to choose. But if that's the most bothering symptom, it has the PQRS, sometimes you have to find that, okay, which remedy has that kind of organ affinity. But in general, in this particular patient, we were not able to elicit anything that was really, really peculiar. Then she tried a lot of home remedies with this itching and with this rash. But again, it would help sometimes, it would not help sometimes. Uh, uh, so yeah, I mean, these slides are just talking about what makes her feel better, make her better, etc. So, at around 4 minutes, we started asking her about her nature because, we tried to explore the chief complaint in its totality, location, sensation, modality, concomitants, nothing too strong came out. So let's go on to ask her about her nature. So she says, I'm a very cool-minded person. I don't get worked up and I work a lot. I'm always busy. I can't sit idle. I just find work to do. And I'm working all the time. If I sit idle, I feel I'm wasting my time. Okay. So again, what we were talking about, right? Let me see if I can open the repertory and at the same time start exploring. If we have, for example, yeah, what we can do is I will share my screen. I will keep switching between the repertory and the slides. I think that will be very interesting way to do this. Okay. So what I did, I opened the complete repertory. And now I will maybe just reverse repertorization. We know I have given this patient Sepia, no suspense there. So we just filter Sepia. And then we say, let's say busy. So we say be busy, sepia is there present, correct? Then let's say industrious mania for work, that also we have sepia very, very strongly. So we are confirming that, okay, this is a person who's busy, who's restless, can't sit idle, always wants to, be useful and not waste her time, something like that. If I sit idle, she says, I feel guilty. I feel as if I'm wasting my time. I could do something that something that I love to do. I could finish up my tax papers. I could finish the lawyer work. I could finish the property work. I could do the housework. There are so many people who sit and relax and watch TV or just read a magazine. I will never be able to do that. I feel, how can people do this and waste their time? Probably maybe post dinner, I will sit for some time and relax and watch television, but not through the day. She says, I need to utilize my time in a very constructive way. I don't have the time. She's 76 years old. 76, okay? So you have to kind of understand that this woman at the age of 76, she is up and about and she wants to do everything. She wants to do everything properly. She's like, I don't have the time to kind of, pick up the phone and speak to a friend. Who has that kind of a time? I need to do something useful. these days people sit on the phone, they're, on the WhatsApp, and then, they're constantly chatting with friends, etc. I don't normally do it. She is a homemaker. She's not, I mean, she doesn't like have a business, or she's not an entrepreneur, or she doesn't go out and work in some organization. But still, she needs to do productive work and be busy. So she has to plan for tomorrow. She needs to, she'll have a to-do list, she'll have a checklist. So this is just kind of what I'm trying to say, qualifying this busyness, qualifying this industriousness. This is something that the remedy must have. Okay, super class 5 will all have this. They are all restless, busy, all the time on the go. Cephalopods will always have, these are the people who are always thinking, doing, even if they're not doing physical work, they are mentally all the time busy. Okay, so this is again something that you should remember. Um, when she works, we also ask what is the pace of her work, which is also very interesting, right? So, for example, in remedies, who are on the left side of the chart, on the left side of the superclass, or remedies, for example, row 1, row 2, row 3, they are not necessarily going to be so on the right side. For example, Nux vomica, they are going to be so fast paced, right? So the energy, the pace of the remedy is also important. So she says that not only is she workaholic, not only does she like to be busy, not only that work has to be productive and organized, planning, etc., but it also is very fast. She can't work slow. So the pace of the work is also fast. Then she says that everything has to be in the right place, everything has to be clean. There is only one way to do anything, and that way is the perfect way. So, for example, if she has to file something, all her property tax or whatever, documents, everything is color coded and, properly in the binder where it has to be. And if the work is not done properly, if she's working with people, with her house help, etc., she becomes very impatient. She can get very irritated. And then she feels, it is better that I do it myself rather than depending on these people who are inefficient or who are not doing their job as well. That's what she feels. Um, so, for example, she says, she gave this one example, which was very interesting, that she was working on a recipe book. So, she is a big foodie. She loves to make food, and, while she has a cook, who does the daily chores, but she likes to give the cook instructions, likes to try different recipes, etc. So she was collecting all these recipes, different recipes. She would experiment and make a big binder out of it. Out of her love of that, she also tried to create, she started this small venture of a restaurant with a partner. So her job in that was that she would taste different recipes, and then she'll make those recipes, try different things, and then she would, give it to her partner, who would then kind of do the rest of the operational aspects of the restaurant. But it didn't work out with her because that other partner was not organized. She was not, she would not keep to the schedule, etc. So it kind of ticked her off and she left it. Okay. So she was, again, it just gives a little bit about her that, she needs to do things her way. She needs to do things perfectly. And also, trying different things, trying different recipes, putting them together. That also gives a little bit of, she's not a structured 9 to 5 thing in the comfort zone, same, I want to eat the same meal, whatever I have brought up, some people like to not be adventurous with food, but she's not that kind of a person. So again, it gives a little bit of hint that, okay, there is something which is not of, which is a little more developed than one would imagine, not so much left side. Then we asked, okay, tell us more about your nature. So she says, I don't like to get so much into arguments. I don't like to have unpleasantness. I would much rather give in and let the other person have their way. But I don't like to get into it. It's better to make the sacrifice and have peace of mind. For instance, my husband and I, we have arguments. If he wants to do one way and I want to do another way, I will always say, okay, let him do his way. It's fine. Peace of mind is very, very important for me, she says. Then she says, goes on about giving some history that, some years back, like, 10, 11 years back, she was diagnosed with cancer of ovary. And then, as soon as she found it, she started she did the whole therapy, she went through chemo, etc., surgery, etc. And then she became very conscious of her weight and conscious of her food. So the kind of food she eats, the lentils she eats, the oil she uses, the produce that she uses, it has to be organic. So she's very, very particular about her health and, what she's putting inside her body. When she came to know about the cancer, she says, you know what, for me, it was like, I did not know what is ovarian cancer. It came to me as a shock, as a surprise. And as soon as I came to know about it, I just started researching the doctors. I started visiting different doctors. I went through the tests and surgery, etc. And it was for me like, I have to get through this. That's it, quickly. And when everything was done, the treatment protocol was over, I went to the doctor and the doctor said, you know what? She said, so now that I'm free of cancer, right? The cancer is outside my system, right, doctor? The doctor said, you come and meet me after 5 years and then we will see. And that was like a big surprise for her. She said, till that time, I thought if I do all this treatment protocol, I'm going to be free. But then I realized that I'm never going to be free. I have to constantly take care of myself. So, she has, a fixed schedule of when she's going to have what tea, what is she going to be putting in her body, what kind of supplements she's going to be having. She takes care of every single detail so that she keeps herself healthy and cancer free. So she said use the word shock and surprise, and 15 minutes down in the case. So we wanted to explore if that had any energy, if it stayed. So she says it was a surprise. It was like, how come it has happened to me? I'm a doer, definitely. I'm a positive thinker. I always look forward. I always look into the future. So definitely this whole situation came to me as a surprise. And I didn't want to just sit and brood on the past. I wanted to get done with it. I wanted to work towards getting myself better. So, for example, during COVID, she came to us in 2020. There is nothing constructive to do. It's the same thing. I don't like routines every day. And now with the COVID situation, with the lockdown situation, I feel every day is the same routine, and it gets to me. It bothers me. Then we try and speak about the fears. She says at the moment, of course, it's COVID, but she says, I'm very, very scared of the dark. I'm very scared of the dark. We live in a small 2-bedroom apartment in a very secure building. And she lives in one of the very, very, she lives in South Bombay, one of the very safe localities and posh localities of Mumbai. So she says, it's a very secured building. We have a security guard downstairs. But even at the night, from my bedroom to my kitchen, I will not go. I'm very, very scared. And I'm not exaggerating it. I'm not exaggerating this, but I have a very, very strong fear of dog. I'm scared what if robbers come? I'm petrified. I'm not just scared, I'm petrified of snakes. I can't even look at pictures of snakes. If I see it, I have to turn away. Now, this had energy. This was out of the blue. This was something which we had to look and, kind of see. So let's see, maybe we just open the repertory again and we say if there is anything in Sepia related to snakes. So we see so many dreams of snakes. Okay, very good. So let's put it here, snake. So fear of snakes, fear of, and dreams of snakes. Okay, let's see if Sepia has anything to do with dark. Darkness ailments from, fear dark of, and of course sad. Let's see if Sepia has anything to do with robbers. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with robbers. That's fine. Let's see if Sepia has anything to do with being alone. So being alone aggravates. Fear of being alone. Fear of being, alone in solitude. So this is also kind of very, very interesting, right? So fear something will happen in the dark when I'm alone, something will happen. Now this is okay. This is just the rubric that would take. Let's qualify this. So the art of case taking is to qualify. Just taking it like symptoms Okay, but what is behind this? So it's important that not just accept it, okay, fear of dark, go repertorize fear of dark, and that's about it. What is the fear in the dark? So here, this question changes a lot of things, because she says that somebody will be hiding there and they will attack. Now, this is the first time that we get a hint, a little hint of the animal kingdom, right? That somebody is hiding behind there and they will attack me. So this question, you know how important this question was. It's, again, animal kingdom is not confirmed as yet, but you get a little, okay, you know, something, some bulb sparks, and you know that, okay, you have to keep your eyes and ears open now. She further rationalizes. She says, nobody can come in our house. I know that. My husband is in the bedroom. I know that. My maid, my house help is in her room. But again, I feel if my husband is not at home, I will still not be able to enter the kitchen. So hypothetically, somebody will be hiding in the, we ask, somebody will be hiding in the dark and then will attack you. How will they attack you? Now, this is again, it's an interesting question. And it's an interesting question because now this is the mechanism, the modus operandi. And in the animal kingdom, this modus operandi is something that will really, really take you closer to the source. So she says, like somebody will be hiding behind the door. Let's say my husband is traveling and I'm alone. Somebody will be hiding under the bed, that kind of a thing. So how will they attack? What kind of attack? She says, I've never thought of that so far, but I'm not the one who will be checking, that they will come and put a knife through me. I've never imagined anything like that. But somebody will come and get hold of me. That's what she said, that somebody will come. It's not like somebody will come and stab me and whatever. Maybe somebody will come and get hold of me. And that was the hand gesture she used, which was very interesting. Attack me and hold me around their arms. Like my daughter, she's grown up, she's in her 50s. She lives in a house all by herself, in a big house, in a big urban area. She lives, her daughter is in Portugal. That she could do it. I don't understand how she can live alone in such a big house. If I'm alone, my husband's not there, I will lock off my bedroom door. Because even if my maid is there, I will see, what if my maid will come and she will jump into my bed or do something to me. So this is the level of fear. This is the level of vulnerability that she has, that there is danger lurking somewhere in the dark and it can come and get me. There is a security guard. I have locked the main door. I will also lock my bedroom door to make sure that I am safe. So this is important. Then we ask her, what about robbers? So she's like, just, you hear in the newspaper, you read in the newspaper, they come, they attack, they kill people, kill women, just they get drugs and, that kind of thing. So something like that. Again, I've not thought that far, but she says, even during the day, I was all alone at home and somebody rang the doorbell. I will never open the door. I'm so scared. Now, this is unusual. This is important. This is something that you cannot ignore. Hmm? Now, the robbers, for those who are, young or you just started your practice, again, now you will ask me, fear of robbers, Sepia is not there. How can we then give Sepia? The idea is robber is not so important here. The idea is this sense of danger. She doesn't even know what danger. Anything can happen. Maid can do this, thief can do this, robber can do this, snake can do this. So it's not about that individual objective phobia. It is about there is a sense of danger. And this is again a theme also of invertebrates in general, not just animal kingdom, more so pronounced in invertebrates, because in invertebrates, the idea that the danger is not defined, that I'm going to be harmed, like I have a aggressor, I have somebody specifically who's going to come and harm me and I have to protect myself from that one particular thing. That's not the idea in cephalopods in general. Sorry, that's not just the idea in invertebrates, sorry. It is an idea of the entire invertebrates. Yeah, so all the invertebrates, they don't have a nervous system. They are not yet so developed. So the danger is not yet defined. This is again a quality of invertebrates. So robber per se, I will not be so worried. Maybe if we search a little bit more, maybe we'll find somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm just, uh, uh, let's just see. Fear, I will say fear or in the same sentence, or let's say fear slash dream in the same sentence, robbers. If I just search like this and see what comes up, if sepia comes up, okay, let's see. I've just made a direct search in the reference library and let's see what happens. If we find, see if we have sepia here. Okay, so if you see here in the mind section, in some, I don't know what this reference book is. If you click here, maybe. So there is a delusion that they're neglected, they're unfortunate, and that they're going to be robbed. So there is some robber in Sepia somewhere, somebody has mentioned. But again, as I said, even if it was not there, I wouldn't worry so much. Okay. So the idea is this danger, the unknown danger, something will happen. I'm vulnerable. So then she also mentioned about so much fear of snake, no? So not leave anything on face value. Try and investigate. Try and qualify it as much in as much detail as you can. So what is this fear of snakes? That no other animal. I'm not scared of any other animal, but just the way they are. The way they move, the way they bite. They'll bite me, and the way they move, it's so slimy. It's just that it's I just kind of don't like snakes and I'm very, very scared of snakes. And I guess we all have it, in some sort of an insecurity. Under pressure, I can get very, very nervous. If I do something in hurry, I can get very, very nervous. Quickly, I get very nervous. So from snakes, she went to her in general, from fears, she went into her insecurity and saying that I'm a kind of person who can quickly get nervous. I'm not the kind of a person who can work under pressure. If there is any last minute appointment or last minute plan, I'm not that kind of a person. I can't work under pressure. I'll get very nervous. um from there we went into hobbies and interests. Ideally we should have, so I have to admit my mistakes. So ideally, if she already spoke about her insecurities and her nervousness, we should have gone there and explored that a little bit more. But whatever, for whatever reasons, we went into hobbies and interests. But if you are doing it, uh, you know what to do. Okay. So hobbies and interests, she says, I love Indian music. I love watching movies. I'm learning a foreign language. Of course, my daughter is in that country, so I want to kind of learn that language. I love cooking different kinds of food. We already spoke, she tries different food, tries different recipes. She uses a guidebook. So that's the kind of hobby she likes. So we just asked, so you're very creative in general. So she says, yes, I've never cooked like when where I grew up. Women would not generally cook like we would have helps always at home. So my mother never went in the kitchen. I never went in the kitchen. We used to have servants, and we used to always have help. But so even though I have help, I like to tell them, give them instructions that this is what we can do, this is how we'll try. So in general, she said, yes, that way I'm very creative in experimenting with food, etc. Then we ask her about her sensitivities. What are you sensitive to? Um, so she says, I had a stepmother. I lost my mother very early. When she was 13 years old, she lost her mother. Um, but she says, I don't want to go back to that time of my life. I don't want that feeling again. um, she says, now I don't have enough confidence in myself. I always feel that maybe people don't like me. If somebody wants to be friends with me, I'm always nervous, I'm always hesitant that maybe do they really want to be friends with me. If they send me a friendly affectionate message, I'm not sure if I can reciprocate that way. um, she also said that she had a husband who treated her very badly. There was an abusive relationship. So after 10 years of marriage, she parted ways with that husband, and she got a divorce. And currently, she's living with her second husband. So she says, I don't have the confidence in myself because of the background, because of my childhood, because of the way my stepmother treated me, and then how I had an abusive relationship with my husband. So I just feel over the years now, slowly, steadily, I want to start working on bringing my confidence back. Yeah. So she says she's lost confidence in herself. Let's see if Sulpia has that. Let's go to the reverse repertory and see that this independent woman we know of, does it have confidence? Lack of. So if I say, what did I do? Okay, confidence, dreams of. Yeah, that means she doesn't have confidence, for example. Confidence lost of, that is also a dream. Okay, very interesting. But let's see, not dream. Um, let's see. 1 second. Confidence. No, we are doing something wrong. Let's bring Sepia again in the reverse repertory. That's how we do it. And let's see, confidence. Okay, there is no directly confidence want of, there's just dreams, which is very interesting. Okay, I'm not able to believe this, that Sepia is not there in confidence want of. So let's see, confidence, want of self. In this, let's see if we have Sepia. I would imagine Sepia should be here. Yeah, here it is. So I don't know why it was not showing up here, but you see here, it's confidence, want of self. You have Sepia in here. So you also have this picture in Sepia, that you're not confident. Let's see if Sepia is there in timidity. That will be very interesting, because this person gets very timid and is very shy, and let's see if Sepia is there in timidity. You see, Sepia is not just there in timidity, it's 5 marks timidity. So we need to remember that Sepia is not just one side of Sepia that we know. So anyway, so she says, over the years, now I have started traveling alone. She used to work for an airline. She used to work for Air India. She used to, so now in between she had lost confidence in herself, but now slowly she started traveling. I've built confidence in myself. Um, I can reason things better than other people. I'm not dumb. I don't have anything horrible to say, but I always try and avoid. I find out why other people are better than me, that I'm not confident. I don't know. I always feel that other people are better than me. I'm not good enough. People don't love me. I feel I'm very unloved. Nobody loves me. Nobody likes me. This is also a little bit of leprosipility. Nobody likes me. I'm unloved. Let's see in Sepia if we have this forsaken feeling. Okay, forsaken feeling. Do we have Sepia here? Let's see if we have Sepia. Forsaken. Yeah, we have Sepia in 1 mark. Yeah, but it is there. You have forsaken feeling, Sepia. So she says, I feel nobody loves me. Yeah, she spoke about an incident when there was this one friend who messaged her, who said, you are one of I found a soul sister in you. And our patient, she couldn't reciprocate. She said, how can this person love me? Am I even worthy of her love? She couldn't reciprocate to this lovely message somebody sent her, because also of the fear that what if she also hurts me? I'm very scared to get close to people. I feel, what if they will leave me? What if I'll get hurt? So she always keeps distance. That's what she says. So we try to understand this, what is about this not getting close to people? What happened? She says, I may be disappointed in that person. I may expect something from that person. And what if I don't get it back? I feel very hurt. I have invested myself emotionally, and what if those emotions don't come back? So might as well stay away. Yeah. This is the same thing that I told you about that incident, right? That she found a friend and she couldn't reciprocate. She maintained her distance. She says, my children are very strong personalities. They are grown up now. They live abroad. They're independent. And if they are discussing something, I generally remain quiet. I'm not able to put my opinion further. I will not be able to argue with them. I feel I have so many years of experience in life. Why am I not able to say, I'm not foolish, I'm not dumb, but I'm not able to put my opinion forward? As a mother, I feel I'm not able to control my children. My children are stronger than me. So again, you see that I am not strong enough. My children are stronger than me. This is also, there is somebody who's stronger than you, and I'm not strong. She says, my position is strong financially. I am independent. Then why do I feel weak? Why am I so weak in front of my children? So this also, you see, there is a little bit of comparison. It's very subtle, but it is there. She says that, I keep telling myself I should become stronger. But when the time comes, I just back off and withdraw. These are your eyes and ears you should be completely available in case taking to be able to pick this. She very interestingly says, I just back off and withdraw. This is very interesting. So what is withdraw? I just keep quiet and then I will become normal with my children. It's not that I show them I'm upset with their money, the subject we have talked about, other things as well. I just become as if nothing has happened. I just drop that topic and I just go on. So I become quiet, I don't argue, I just withdraw and I back off. Today I'm at that stage in life. I have never been so confident as I am today. With God's grace, everything is okay. But I don't feel I can control everyone. Some people are very confident. They are in control of everything. That's not me. I know I'm very capable of running my home. I have been taking care of my financial affairs. I have bought properties or sold properties. And I can go to the top lawyers and I have a meeting with them. I'm very confident. I can manage. I don't need anybody's help or support. I sold a property. I brought our property. My husband didn't even know about it. I went to the managing director of a construction company and I dealt with the whole scenario. So I am independent. I am confident. But it bothers me that sometimes, I'm not able to control the room. I can't take care of everything. So you see, there is some sort of a conflict going on there. When you had success in what you're doing, then you automatically become a little bit more confident and capable. See the words that she's using words like capable, I'm not confident, I can be more confident. It sounds maybe a little bit like Mandarin, but we don't have to get confused. You have to look at the big picture. You have to look at the big picture. Um, uh, you have to look at in the holistic way. It's not this capability, the word capable that she's using, it's not about what I lack and what I need. It's about feeling that I am not able to control and somebody else is stronger than me. Okay, and the feeling that I need to do it so that I have control, I can show, I can prove, I can do. If I can do this, why I'm not getting the respect that I deserve? Why is my voice not being heard? It's about that. She says in a group, I don't like talking loudly to a group socially. I will rather keep quiet. She says, I'm very shy of public speaking. I don't know how people can do it. There I lack confidence. Now, this is also very interesting. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try public speaking, stage fright. Let's see if in stage fright do we have Sepia. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to just try. Let's see, stage right here. I'll directly put it here. Okay, let's just put stage and see. Anticipation ailments from aggravate stage fright. Let's see if we have Sepia here. Oh yeah, we have Sepia here. Very interesting. This is a new learning for me too. So we have Sepia and stage fright. This outgoing person is scared of public speaking. So we're not going to rule out Sepia because of this. Okay. Then a little bit about her childhood. She says, I had a stepmother. I grew up, in my teenage onwards, I grew up with my stepmother. And I felt that my childhood was very, very bad. She was very jealous of me and my father. I could not even sit in a room together with my father because she would be jealous that what are we talking? She would feel that what if I'm complaining about her to my father? But you are so my father's position was difficult, to try and keep a peace in the house between her and me. So my father was always had to work on, walk on eggshells. So she was very jealous of me and my father. So you see, she just thought that maybe I'm smarter person than her. So this is her lens. This is our patient's lens. There is a comparison. I am smarter person than her. Somebody is smart, somebody is not smart. Hmm? Because obviously, firstly, she was not really educated. She was a very simple woman. So she must have compared. Yeah, so innocent that maybe the stepmother compared, but maybe she was jealous. Okay, and this was very, very difficult for me. She always had that conflict. Who am I talking to? Where am I going? What if I complain? So it was very difficult. So I had this, I was very, very lonely. I had this horrible feeling. I didn't know what to do in those days. Parents were very strict, especially in the northern part of the country. She was a very traditional woman. She kind of created an environment where, young girls are not supposed to go out. So, uh, I couldn't go out with boys. Even if I went out with girls, I was kind of questions. If I would want to wear makeup, if I would want to go for a movie, she would complain to my father. So I felt very, very horrible. Hmm? Now, what happened was we would like to go further here. Hmm? If we go further over here, we would come to the idea of restriction, that she felt that she was not given the freedom. She felt restricted. However, in this case, she at this stage completely shut off and she said, that was the most unpleasant time of my life. And it was so many years ago. I don't want to talk about it. And she completely shut off. So, we had to respect that and we couldn't explore that further. But this is something that this is an area that we could have gone deep and we would have got the sensation of suffocation, restriction, wanting freedom. You would get this whole adolescence, air element feature. You would get also this superclass feature where you feel claustrophobic and suffocation because externally, the main idea of Sepia is that, right? That I'm being forced to do something that I don't want to do. I'm feeling oppressed. I'm feeling hindered. I'm feeling restricted, and I need my freedom. Okay. But this was a very strong indication that that is what happened. Okay. Um, then we just asked, she has, whatever, any other complaints, nothing, etc., etc. So we gave her Sepia. Within 3 days, the rashes that she had disappeared. She continued to do better and the on and off frequency reduced. And then in 1 year, she said, I'm just 99% I'm better. My dizziness is better. She had some dizziness. Her energy levels are better. And for the last 6 months, she had even moved. She was living in her house in London. And she said, I'm doing very, very good. Then, she continued with us for a long time. Then she was on and off because she's traveling between two countries. In between any other complaints, she had some eruptions on her hands that were taken care by Sepia. Then she had some fungal infection, sometime back in January 2023. For that also we prescribed Sepia. And no other remedy was needed, anything else but Sepia. And she did very well. And we always kept her on Sepia. And, we really didn't need anything. Okay, so that is the case in general. We always kept her on 6C potency. We didn't go higher. Um, because she came up with, she showed a lot of sensitivity and, generally in skin complaints, we start with low potency. We could have gone because she was at the level of delusion. We could have given her 1M and she would have done better. But, somehow Prajakta and I, if there's skin complaints and, we start If we see that this is a little bit of a sensitive patient, we start low and then gradually increase the potency. But she responded so well on Sepia that we didn't really have to do anything else. So yeah, if you see all this cancer ovaries also cannot bear tight clothes and whatever. So impatience, fastidious, anxiety about her health, fear of robbers somehow. No, yeah, Sepia is not there. So anyway, so that's what we gave her. She did extremely well. A little bit, let's read a little bit from the Soul of Remedies. Sankaran says, psychosyphilitic, forced to undertake things opposed to her intention. There is a feeling of dependence in Sepia, feeling of being not good enough. This makes her feel miserable and she feels unfortunate, not being good enough, you know. So this is a little bit of like a mineral thing. Do you there is also one side of her that says do what you want to, be independent, occupy yourself, and that's why Sepia likes to occupy herself mentally and physically. She likes brisk movements and dancing, we know that, right? She's always been independent right from the beginning. Okay, but in various life situations she will be dominated or forced to do things that she does not want to, and then there'll be divorce, there'll be separation, you know, or they will be spinsters. Many of them also join women's liberation movement, right? So busy all the time. Sepia also comes close to Lachesis with its envy, jealousy, dreams of snakes. So you have to compare Sepia with Lachesis also, he says. Yeah, so all of this which we already spoke about. So this is little bit about Sepia. I just wanted to now open up the floor and see if there are any comments or any questions, or anybody would like to share their case of Sepia or their experiences of Sepia. That would be nice to hear.
Anyone having any question can unmute themselves or they can write it in the chat. We have one question. How is it differentiate? How to differentiate Nux vomica and Sepia female?
Okay, that's a very good question. So there are a lot of similarities, right? They can be industrious, they can be workaholic, they'll be go-getters, they will like spicy food, this, that, they will be restless, pace of working is very high. So a lot of similarities. But again, we are not, what I'm trying to say is that you have to look at the whole picture. If you just say, take the symptoms, let me see in the repertorial chart that I showed you. Do we have Naxamica coming up nearby? Yeah, let me share my screen once again and I'll show you in the repertorial chart. If we just take all these symptoms, no, impatient, fastidious, perfectionist, fear of dark, this, that, you see somewhere there is sepia over here. So, but symptom-wise, there will be similarity, yeah? But you have to look at the whole picture. The dynamic is completely different. Firstly, they belong to completely different kingdoms. In Naxamica, the whole idea would be what? The whole idea will be about sensitivity and reactivity. Meaning, they will be angry, they will be irritable, they are going to go and fight with 100 people. But it will not be about somebody doing something to me. The focus is not on that person or this person, etc. person. The focus is on how it is affecting them. You know, that is why this irritability and hyper reactivity. In the animal kingdom, there is somebody doing something to me. There is a me versus you. Very subtle also in Sepia, but it will be there. Somebody is higher, somebody is lower. I am unfortunate, I am at disadvantage. Something about hierarchy, something about boundary, something about me versus you. So firstly, they are completely different kingdoms that you will have to identify. Secondly, what you can also kind of differentiate is from, you know, for example, in this case, there was shock and surprise. Okay. So in Naxwamika, Loganese family, so there is shock and surprise. Sudden news, Gelsemium, Naxwamika, Ignatia, they all come in the same family. So there will be suddenness, shock, and surprise. So if you just focus on that one aspect and ignore jealousy, ignore everything else, ignore withdrawal, ignore this extreme fear and paranoia with that somebody is going to come and attack me, then you will miss sepia. So look at the whole picture. So the kingdom, then the family, the sensations are going to be different. Here it's withdrawal and movement and busy. There it is sudden shock, collapse. You have to look at that. That is the element. Another element that you could look at is, this whole, this, see, the cephalopods is uh, the column 2 idea. You could see some sort of a mollusk feature, but more than that, I think how you could also definitely differentiate is Noxvomica is, in the subclass 6, in the superclass 6, it's the column 6 completely. So you're there, the idea and the theme is my relationship with the world, responsibility, etc., etc. Danger. I mean, it's completely different viewpoint than what we see in sepia. So yeah, while there are a lot of similarities, there will be ways and means for you to differentiate them. Yeah. So look at the whole picture, full spectrum, and not just symptoms. Otherwise, you're going to go for a ride. Okay, what else?
There's another question, ma'am. Ma'am, can we give sepia for anxiety which leads to headache?
So let's repetize. If we see headache, pain in the head, anxiety from. If sepia is there, that is one confirmation, but you will again have to look at the whole picture. So pain, headache, anxiety from. So anxiety from has only 3 remedies, Ethusa, Mandragora, and one more. But pain, headache, excitement, emotional aggravates is a bigger rubric. And in that, if you look, you have sepia. Yes, you have sepia. So that is one way. But if only on that you're going to give, sepia is just one mark in those 100 and 100 plus remedies. So again, only on one symptom, I don't think you can prescribe the remedy. Take the whole case. You have to do that hard work. Okay. What else?
Someone is asking about the potency, how to choose the potency.
So depending on the level of the patient, if it is on the level of only names and facts and pathology and disease, not even at the emotional level, you will start very low. So you will start with 6C, 30C, okay? Generally, if the patient is at the emotional level, then you will give 200. The patient is at the level of delusion, where this was, no, she was at the level of delusion, you could give them 1M. And if the patient is at the level of sensation and beyond, you could think of 10M and CM, etc. In this case, we chose 6C. That's a very clinical experience. This is my personal from our clinics. For generally, all these skin complaints, autoimmune cases, people who are idiosyncratic, people who are very, very sensitive. If we expect that there could be a potential aggravation, we start with 6C. That's generally how we have learned and we have practiced. That's just very clinical. I saw once one more case was somebody who said Lachesis is close, no, which is true. Lachesis is very, very close. If you also, I don't know if I can pull out the animal chart very quickly. Where can I find the animal chart? Let me see. Okay, I will try to pull up the animal chart. And then I will show you something very, very interesting. Okay, which could potentially help you. I will share my screen again. So you see the animal chart on my screen. So if you see here in the animal chart, the cephalopods are here. Okay. And the reptiles, the lachesis is over here. But they all belong to the left side in the aquatic womb stage. Okay. cephalopods, while is in column 2, it's coming, it's just end of column 2. So it already has some themes of column 3. So it's already fire element, and so there is a lot of air and fire that cephalopods have. So they're already going towards here. So from that perspective, there can be a lot of similarities. That is number one. Okay. And even if what we read in that, in the soul of remedies, Dr. Sankaran also kind of describes the fear of snakes, the paranoia with the snakes, the need to hide, the need of danger, and things like that. They can be very attractive, colorful, and things like that to kind of attract. So it is, you will have to really distinguish. You'll have to see whether this is an invertebrate, whether this is invertebrate. Is the main strategy hiding, or is the main strategy withdrawing? It could be similar, but it's different. Is the main strategy to just, camouflage? Is the main strategy to run away, to escape, which will be there in Sepia? Or is the main strategy just to hide and wait for the right opportunity? That would be different. The survival strategies are different. So close yet different. Anything else?
Lucy is asking why only 4 doses?
So this is what we've learned from our teachers. It generally helps. 4 doses is basically it's a split dose. So what generally how we would prescribe is any potency, any medicine that we are giving, we would say on the first day and the second day, 2 doses. So day 1 twice a day, day 2 twice a day. So it's basically 4 doses on 2 consecutive days. It's like a split dose of the, it's just you're boosting the vital force, not just once, just, at a time, 2-3 times, and then you wait until, at least, depending on, when you expect the symptoms to return. So that's why 4 doses. Yeah. So it's kind of a split dose. I saw Vicky also said something about hormonal complaints. So yeah, Sepia has a lot of hormonal issues, right? So in this patient also we had cancer of ovary history. Then there was some fungal infection in the vagina. So in general, you see that a lot of organ affinity hormones is is important. So yes, one would expect that. Will it be connected to menopause, Vicky? I mean, she was 76 years old. It's long past her menopause. I mean, she's postmenopausal. It was not that she, just became menopausal. So I would not consider that way. Anything else? I think we are already 8 minutes past our scheduled time. Any critical key question? I see something about LM potency. Huge topic. But in general, in short, if I have to answer, we would give LM potency. We use a lot of LM potencies in our practice, but generally we give LM potencies when you see a progressive disease. And because we don't then repeat the centesimal scale so much, so we'll give a few doses of the centesimal scale and followed by the LM potency when the disease is progressive. In pathological cases, progressive cases, also in autoimmune cases. So any progressive pathologies, we would generally give LM potencies. In fact, in a few psychiatric cases also I've used LM potencies. And I had spoken about that to Dr. Gandhi also once, what is his experience? And he said that sometimes he would LM potencies at that time also. Yeah. So with that, I think in PCOD cases, yeah, I mean, so again, not disease specific, we are homeopaths, so don't ask these questions. The disease may help, the organ affinity helps, but that's not the defining factor. Yeah. So you could give CPR for anything, any disease under the world. Yeah. So that's not a problem. Okay, the skin happy? Good to close?
Ma'am, I don't think yes.
I had told Taskin when we were in the clinic that today I'm going to, wrap up the session in 45 minutes.
Half an
not
hour.
extend the session.
Half an hour.
But okay, I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, very interesting case,
Please
ma'am.
share
Thank
your
you so much.
feedback. If there's any other remedy that you want to learn, we are going to do ABC of Remedies every month, Prajakta and I. And again, a warm welcome. Come join the animal series. It's a phenomenal journey. We are doing a lot of research and hard work and, bringing up a lot of our cases. So do come and join us. Okay. Bye. Take care.
Bye. Just a quick reminder, we have a session on the annual series tomorrow, where we'll be talking about the crustacean group. I've shared the registration link in the chat. For those of you who want to register, can do so. In case you have missed the previous sessions, recordings will be provided, don't worry. With that note, I would like to end today's session. Thank you all. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.